Hey, welcome back to the show. I'm Paul Gustafson, and this is Healthy Hypnosis, the show that helps to educate and enlighten you on the serious-minded, healthy side of the field of hypnosis or hypnotherapy. And every once in a while, we have the pleasure of having a past client on the show, and that's going to be today's episode. I want to introduce Steve Ringer.
Hello.
Welcome to the show,
Yeah.
and I appreciate you coming on. Steve has been a past client, and he's here to tell his story. You came for the Gastric band hypnosis program,
Right.
and you survived.
Yes.
What made you decide to choose hypnosis to begin with?
Well, I really wanted to lose weight.
Yep.
And most things hadn't worked. And I think, I'd actually known someone who'd had a gastric band, and I thought, I would never want to actually do surgery because it seems to me 10 years from now, who knows what we find out. Right. But I thought, gee, she's eating less, and, why can't I just teach myself to eat less? Well, it turns out not possible to do.
No.
Yeah.
Not without a little coaching.
Right. And, and I think because whatever the reasons are that get you to eat more, they're still there, etc. And so then I saw the ad, or Angie's deal. Angie's List deal. And I thought, well, that's worth a try.
Yeah.
So that was really it.
Really? So, and you're a physician,
Yeah.
right? What do your peers know what you're doing or what you did with hypnosis, or how was that received by your colleagues?
Yeah, I've talked to some people, and they're sort of intrigued by it.
Yeah.
I talked to my own physician about it, and he was also intrigued. And I think the initial reaction is probably the initial reaction even that I had, like, come on.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. And, both because, well, first of all, our exposure to hypnosis is through movies and
Right.
stuff like that. And
Chicken clucking.
chicken clucking, yeah. And plus, it seemed like from those things that it's all about people losing control to someone else, which
Right.
is sort of a scary thing.
Yep.
But I thought, this is worth a try, I really just figured it would be worth a try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you came in cold, not knowing anything really about this serious-minded side of the field.
Exactly.
Right.
And yeah, very much so. And I must say I was intrigued by that, and your explanation about it, first of all, really interested me, and certainly put me at ease.
Good.
Because it was quite clear that, it was none of those things, and that I was going to be in control, and sort of the idea of helping me to do the things that I really wanted to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you struggled with all the typical approaches with dieting and
Yep.
and any weight loss in the past?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Up and down.
Up and down. Yeah.
Okay.
But and I think for me, eating's a big stress reliever, or was.
Yeah. It's nice to have that in the past now, isn't
Yeah.
it? Back in the day.
Yeah, way back then. And I thought, I'll never be able to give, the stress isn't going to go away. How am I going to give this up? So I didn't know where this would go.
A lot of stressful eating on the job at the hospital?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Always, and always justifiable. I deserve this, et cetera,
This is the only time I have to eat something. Here it
Yeah.
is in front of me.
Yeah. And why not eat something I really like? Or, much easier to eat a bag of potato chips than it is to, eat a salad or something. I mean, I don't know if the thought process was that well formulated, but
It was an impulse, right?
it was impulse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The impulse that became rooted over time and became automatically what you did.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I think was an interesting thing about hypnosis. There's this idea that, it wasn't going to fix everything. It wasn't like a magic pill, and it required involvement and commitment, and that, you know, the expectation would be that you'd start to see a change in the way you felt about things over time.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's easy to do.
It's not a tough assignment, right? What
No.
did it involve? Putting your feet up,
Yeah.
close your eyes, and relax real deeply on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Really, I know.
Yeah.
I'm asking a lot.
Yeah, yeah. Which turned out to be a great thing because, I mean, I think the stress relief, the relaxation aspect of it,
Was that immediate?
that was pretty much immediate. I think even from our first session, I was struck. I mean, and you may not remember, but I sort of, at one point, felt like I was getting like too relaxed.
You were a little wigged out by the...
And I thought, oh, this is kind of scary. Like, where's this going to go? You know, am I going to keep going down and
Fall
never
into the
come
abyss,
up? Yeah.
right.
Yeah. And then, of course, it turns out that it's not like that, and you're sort of you know what's going on all the time, and you're just sort of enjoying yourself.
Yeah.
So I said, no, this is easy to keep up.
Yeah.
And it really worked, and remarkably, it really worked.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know, some of it I think is the stress relief. Some of it is, I think, the sort of reorienting of thought.
Right.
And you know, just breaking that cycle and getting rid of that emotional attachment
You
to
got it.
food.
You got it.
Yeah.
When you delve down to where the patterns live, you can clean house.
Yeah, which is pretty fascinating.
It is fascinating, and change comes quickly with this, and that's fascinating to me. And if you spend a little bit of time press and play, then changes stick.
Yeah,
So-
and I'm very impressed by that.
Yeah.
And I mean, quite frankly, it feels really good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like fun to do. You know, and it's a 20-minute investment. I mean, it's just, you know, there's always time to fit it in. Some days are better than others.
Sure.
But when it feels good.
So you're totally aware of what's going on during the sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you.
Yeah. And yeah, including the fact that other thoughts fly by. And you sort of, because at first I thought, oh, you know, how am I going to do this? How am I going to empty my mind?
Yeah.
And you, I guess you don't have to.
You don't have to. That's the kicker.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let any thought travel, drift, and wander wherever it chooses to go. That's what people express a lot of frustration with meditation, because none of them can really clear their mind
Yeah.
of all these thoughts.
Yeah. And I would say, I would say, if you asked me, I would say, oh, that's impossible. Can't do it. There's too many things to think about. And it's just sort of interesting that if you relax, the thoughts come, the thoughts go. They don't. The difference, I guess, is that you don't get, you know, dwell on something, making yourself crazy about it. But it's not like it's not there.
And I'm helping you to trade up to spend more time concentrating on this blissful journey, spend more time concentrating on the interesting imagery of cutting and severing the connection to unproductive patterns, and then we get into session 2 where you have the opportunity to actually imagine surgery.
Yeah.
So these thoughts are far more interesting than whatever thoughts.
That's
At
actually
least that's
true.
my hope.
Yeah, well,
You
and
know?
I think it's good because it gives you a framework for thought, and it gives you a framework around the way you're feeling. And you know, you had described to me that some people really feel it, and you know, sometimes maybe that's true, but a lot of time it isn't true. But it's just the end sensation of I don't really have to eat very much to
Yeah.
feel fine is there.
Yeah, most people do not experience any sensation from that imaginary gastric band. Most further just embrace the concept that it's comfortably easy to eat less.
Yeah, which is like very interesting to me because, like, I didn't feel like I did. You know, you don't feel like you're doing something, but you are sort of actively relaxing, as it were.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, and I think it probably improves your compensation with stress in the rest of your life, which removes a lot of the impetus that was there before.
And the distractions.
Yeah.
I mean, I tell people that simply by pressing play and diving into the blissful state of relaxation on a daily basis, you just start thinking more clearly. You're grounded, you're centered, you're more mindful. And what could come from that?
Yeah,
You know?
I think the mindfulness is really an important part, because you somehow stop and think. I mean, just around eating, nope, I actually don't need that. And you don't feel like you're depriving yourself. It's not like dieting where you say, oh no, I can't eat that,
Right.
or I must eat this. It's just simply that you say, nope, not interested.
Yeah.
Not, which is great.
Did you feel like you had a grander plan? Once you started getting into the sessions, I'm always helping clients to imagine this future version of themselves. Is that something you got your mind wrapped around, so you had an idea of where you were going?
Yeah, I think that took a little while.
Yeah.
In part because I think you have to get comfortable with the fact that you can actually sort of gain traction in that direction. But now, my feeling is, I'm in control of the process, and I can get to whichever point I want to get to, and I feel good. I don't feel deprived.
Yeah.
Which is the other interesting thing.
But this is why diets always fail, isn't it? Because you're forcing yourself to eat things you don't want to eat, and to do things you don't want to do, like going to the gym and beat yourself up 3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah, and then once you achieve the goal of the diet, you say, oh, good, now,
Right.
Now I can eat the whatever, because I've hit my goal.
The goal of the diet is to weigh a certain point.
Yeah.
And what's your goal that's different from
Well,
that?
this is really changing
well?
your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah.
I mean, really good.
Yeah, you become mindful and you have an idea of where you're going. How much weight have you lost?
I've lost about 32 pounds, which I think is a pretty good start.
How long has it been since we met?
I think
Less than a couple months.
yeah,
isn't it?
just about a couple months.
Couple months.
Less, a little less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
32 pounds and
Yeah. So and it's been progressive.
yeah.
So.
Eating significantly less?
Oh yeah, definitely, and I think definitely eating healthier.
Really?
Yeah, and so I'm very pleased.
Before you were eating emotionally at work, just grabbing food to deal with stress,
I think so. Yeah.
and that's significantly less? Or?
Yeah. I mean, and work is a hard place because despite the fact that I work in a hospital, the available food is probably the least healthy food.
We were talking about that. They're killing their employees.
Yeah, and it's comfort food, I think, is what it is, and so and easy to convince yourself, oh, I deserve this, or this will make me feel better.
So what do you do in place of eating that crap?
Well, first of all, I eat less, and I eat healthier foods, and I bring more of my own food, stuff like that. So it works really well.
So did you find it refreshing when, I must have said to you at some point that no one is saying no to you, not even you. By that I mean that you can eat cheesecake if you want cheesecake.
Yeah, and I think that's actually a really good point, because that's true. I think the difference is that you don't really want a big piece of cheesecake.
No.
So somehow, I mean, I found that sort of remarkable, that somehow the small piece of cake was great, right? Because you liked the taste, you enjoyed eating it, but you didn't need it for that other goal.
Yeah.
And then you feel good because you say, yeah, I actually ate. I mean, I still eat all the foods that I like. I just eat smaller amounts.
Smaller amount.
Yeah.
The goal is to make it the exception and not the rule.
Yeah, and it so it works really. It really, for me, it has worked really well.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy, both the way you feel during the session, and the good feeling from the relaxation, and then sort of the empowerment of being in control.
the feeling of weighing 32 pounds less.
That's also good.
It's not too shabby, as my father used to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So stairs are easier, stuff like that. So
Yeah. So there's balance now. Before there was a lot of emotionally driven, impulsive actions, and now there's a flow and balance to help you live well.
You know, and so it's like meditation with a purpose, or meditation with a framework,
goal-oriented meditation.
Yeah, and it you know, for whatever reason, because I would have predicted that I would be the least good candidate for this, it clicked with me.
I was pleasantly surprised, because I had a feel that you might be kind of tough to get from point A to point B.
Yeah, it just really took.
Well, it was the first session that you had that moment where you went so deep into it that you were concerned. And that, I knew that you were worried, but from where I was sitting, I'm thinking, aha.
Yeah.
And this guy's going to go places.
Oh, good. Yeah, because it really worked out that way, you know, and
it caught your attention, didn't it?
It did. And in a way that's good, I think, because it made me see sort of the power in it. And so I wish I could think of something bad to say.
Why would you wish that? No. If you start saying bad things, we cut to commercial. And we cut this interview short right away. No. Yeah, so when you go into hypnosis, a lot of people have the misconception, like you said earlier, that it's giving up free will and relinquishing power, but it was none of that.
No. In fact, I would say it's probably just the opposite.
Really?
That you feel very good, and you definitely feel relaxed, which is great. But you can't tell whether you're awake or. It's almost like you can't tell whether you're awake or asleep or something. I don't know how to describe it, but you're cognizant, and you're processing thoughts, and you're thinking. You think about what you hear, so it's not like you're being led down a pathway.
Right.
And so you never feel. I never feel out of control. I just feel calm.
Yeah.
Which is good.
So we went from the first session, which cut the connection to all the unhealthy patterns, and the second session was the actual surgery, and then the third session was going back to get the gastric band adjusted.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
What was that experience like?
Well, that was an interesting experience. I think, well, first of all, it was interesting because it was you just got adjusted. It wasn't built in that your band was tightened, your imaginary band was tightened.
Yeah, you asked me about that.
Yeah.
You said something like, why wouldn't you make it that it always gets tight?
Yeah,
right.
Come on, let's get this show on the road. and I thought, it took a little while, I think, for me to sort of say, oh, that's really good, because then you find yourself saying, oh, make it tighter. That you're having this, interaction in your mind, because really that is, I can do better. I can gain even more control. And because there is no band, I mean, so,
There you go. Yes, I know.
It's just words.
But yet we talk about it as though it's a real thing, don't we?
Yeah.
It really happened.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I know.
And I think each time I've listened to that session, there's a needle that goes into the adjuster. I think I feel the needle each time.
Really?
Yeah, but nothing else. I keep waiting for that moment,
Yeah.
where I'm going to feel something different.
It pierces the skin, and you feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so that one, I think, and I feel like the sort of relaxation techniques also sort of moved to sort of a progressively higher level, and using more imagery and stepping yourself down. And so I think that I like that. I've liked that.
Clients always say that, but it's really got less to do with what I'm saying and how I'm saying it as it does with your ability to integrate the information, and you become more productively able to navigate and wheel and deal. Because from what I'm saying, it's just 50 different ways to say go deeper.
Yeah.
Go deeper and deeper and deeper, and now we're taking a stairway, and now there's a sunset.
Yeah.
And now there's a hillside slope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that one.
That's one of my favorites. Yeah. Walking down into the shade.
Yeah. And it, because it always works.
It always works. Was there, you were totally surprised by this, the fact that it worked at all?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Pleasantly surprised,
Yeah.
but definitely surprised.
Yeah.
And that it sticks.
It sticks, and it's been a couple of months, and,
Yeah.
you know that if you're having, occasional indiscretions, it's not a failure, right?
Yeah.
And that's the problem with dieting, because in our polarized world, it's either all right or all wrong.
Right. And this I think is not about that, because you sort of have an opportunity, as it were, to regroup, And I think some days when you're very stressed, it's a little harder, and other days it's a little easier, or at least it feels that way. But it's been, I've felt like it's been positive the whole time.
Yeah. Nothing about it that hasn't been enjoyable?
No, everything. It really, more than anything, it's actually been very enjoyable.
Has there been any unexpected perks with the process? You mentioned stress quite a bit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's definitely, it's great, because you can use self-hypnosis to just sort of bring yourself down when you're stressed.
Tell our viewers what your interpretation of self-hypnosis is.
Well, I think mostly it's a lot of breathing and sort of putting yourself in the mode of relaxing and gaining that sort of mental control over how you're feeling.
So you're able to do that, bring
Yeah.
yourself down by focusing on your breathing.
Yeah, that's to me the easiest way.
Yep, I agree.
know,
You're breathing anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
So
Take
might as well
advantage of
use
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The different light switches. Sometimes that works. That doesn't work. Turn switch one and stuff like that. But it's harder. It's harder for me to imagine within my by myself things like walking downstairs.
Yep.
Where each stair brings you to a different goal. But whereas breathing, you really can just sort of feel it.
It's
yourself.
easy, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's something that you consider as well as feel.
Yeah.
So when you're doing self-hypnosis and focusing on your breathing, are you actually imagining that you're inhaling comfort?
Yes. Yes.
And you feel it.
Yeah. Yeah. And the first time it was like, come on.
I know. I get that. I got that from someone today. Yeah.
Like, what are you talking
Yeah.
about?
It was I was sitting with a big burly cop
Yeah.
who was like telling me, he knew stuff. And
Yeah. And then after a while, it's
I'll
like,
get him the way I got you.
yeah, some sneaky way.
Yeah. So after a while, I don't know what visit it might have been, when we did self-hypnosis, you started to get a sense that you had the ability.
Yeah.
You had the power.
Yeah. And I think I think probably I was able to do it before I realized I was able to do it.
You got it.
Because I think at one visit I said to you, like, I'm not sure I'm getting anything out of this. Like, and again, you sort of made the point that it's not that big a deal. You're breathing or whatever you're doing, just do it.
Yeah.
And so it's I like I say, I've been very happy, and that's a huge side benefit, as it were.
Yeah.
And
with the self-hypnosis, just by paying attention to your breathing, you're forcing yourself to focus within, which is how people enter into meditation.
Yeah, that's right. So it's sort of different ways to really reach the same goal.
You got it.
And I've heard people talk about mindfulness therapy, and when they describe it, it's hypnosis.
Yeah, they don't like to use the H word.
Yeah, well, because
that's
I think
the problem.
they're getting away from the
association with the
yeah.
chicken clucking.
Yeah.
And although it was embraced by the AMA back during the Eisenhower administration, but the problem is it's not regulated in the state of Massachusetts, so it's difficult to break through to get referrals from docs like yourself. So we're working on it.
Yeah,
we're working
that's
on it. So I feel silly for even asking this question. If someone came up to you and wanted to know, whether or not you think hypnosis is something worth jumping into, I'm sure you would recommend that they do that.
I definitely would.
Yeah.
And it's all your, it's just your individual self. So it's not like, I mean, so it seems to me hard to go wrong.
Yeah.
You know, because it's not like you're forcing someone into a mold of some sort that doesn't fit them. You're basically just saying, you know, just relax and take control of yourself. So that ought to, I would think that would work for most people.
Right. And when you consider that the weight is not the problem, it's how we think and what we think about.
Yeah.
Emphasizes even more how a process like this should be a better choice for more people, because it gives you significant power of thought to change patterns. And you've just spent 30 minutes talking about the patterns that you've changed.
And I think I told you I was going to make a list of all my failings and come back to you for.
Have you noticed that other problems have kind of faded?
Yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are many clients always express unexpected freedom, clarity, and relief in areas completely unrelated to what they came for. So.
Well, because it's you're coming to grips with sort of thinking about things.
No kidding, huh?
You know, so.
You mean it's just a matter of thinking more clearly, and our problems will.
Or opening yourself up to it. Yeah.
Mindfulness, right?
Yeah. Mindfulness, exactly. Yeah.
How much time we got, Frank? 1 minute left. Fast 30 minutes, right?
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming on the show.
Happy to do it.
And spreading the word, right?
Yeah, and I tell people about it.
Good deal. Well, thank you very much, and maybe we'll get you on down the road to see how you're progressing.
Yeah, great.
Excellent. on a night where there's not so much traffic.
Is there such a night?
No. Hey, I want to thank you folks for tuning in. I'm Paul Gustafson, and this has been Healthy Hypnosis. Please keep us in mind down the road, because we got some great episodes coming up. We'll see you next time.